chug some beers and make some bad gambling picks. Welcome to ChuggieBets.
Which takes us into the 6:30 slate. And Matt, we're on the same pick here. Georgia Tech going into Wake Forest. Matt, I'll let you go first, but Mr. Georgia, I do want to hear your thoughts on this after Matt.
I think people are going to be down on Wake Forest for what happened last week. Talk about a weird game. They were playing, it was Old Dominion, right?
I think so.
Yeah, Old Dominion's not a bad team, A. B, Wake Forest gave up points in the dumbest, flukiest fashion to be in a hole like 17-0 right away. They came back and fought, but I think a lot of people are undervaluing Wake Forest when they've been pretty competitive. They beat the Vanderbilts. They beat some other teams pretty handily. So I don't think they're particularly bad. I do think Georgia Tech is bad. So I'm going to lay the 3.5 points at home.
Yeah, I'm on it with you. I agree with everything you said. I got nothing to add.
My counter argument to this as Mr. Georgia, first off, I'm not betting it. It's a house divided. My dad went to Tech. My brother went to Wake. So I don't bet this. I just sit back and eat popcorn. But I think that, like, I agree. Like, Georgia Tech, they've had their struggles this season, but their schedule has not been the easiest.
No.
Louisville, they lost. Fuck team, I don't know. They won, like South Carolina State or something. Then Ole Miss, and they lost. So, they kept Louisville really close. They kept Ole Miss close for a minute. But I hope that it's a good game. That's all I hope for.
I think it'll be a good game.
Yeah, so if I bet anything, it'd be the dumb bet of the over. Just because anytime I want to see a good game, bet the over. I'll pay attention to it and I'll cheer for both sides.
It's a fun way to do it.
Yeah, I feel like Georgia Tech is still like in the middle of an identity crisis. Like they don't know what they want to be.
You're definitely right about that.
Well, and they're getting all that new money in from Hyundai, which is coming soon. So there will be a lot bigger investment into football, but they needed it. They were like in dire straits as far as considering they're a private, they're private, right, Chris? Or are they public?
That's correct.
So they were running really low financially. That's why they had to do that Hyundai deal on their stadium. And this hopefully will reinvigorate a program that should be great. I love when Georgia Tech is good. Think about 1990. They were ranked number 1, and I want that back in the ACC.
Is it a little bit short-sighted or like myopic of Hyundai to sponsor the Ramblin' Wreck from Georgia Tech? Feels like they didn't put enough thought into that.
That'd be like Boeing. That's too dark. I'm not going to do that. Never mind.
No,
Yeah, I just want to make
I
it
see
clear.
what you did there.
Georgia Tech is public, Wake is private.
Oh, okay. Well, they were running a huge financial deficit, and they need that money. Wake Forest is Wake Forest. They're going to be like scrappy underdogs forever because they have a very small student body, like a laughably small student body.
Georgia Tech also does not have a massive student body like other public universities.
They don't.
It's a bunch of nerdy engineers that make a ton of money.
They're a hell
And
of a-
apparently
Great
don't
school.
go back to the university.
Well,
They're-
you know what? They gave you Calvin Johnson.
They did.
They gave the world Calvin Johnson.
They gave
Calvin
Demarius Thomas.
Johnson gave the world Calvin Johnson, but he
R.I.P.
They gave you Demarius Thomas, RIP.
Yeah. All right. So then to the game of the day, Liberty at FIU. No, I'm just kidding. We're not even going to talk about that. At 7 p.m., Arkansas is playing LSU. Al and I are both taking Arkansas. Al, go ahead.
Yeah, so I took Arkansas last week, I think, and I hated it
Oh,
from the jump.
so
But I
do it
think-
again.
I think it's time. You lose the first bet, you double down on the next one, right? I think LSU also, they finally got their shit together and looked really good. So I think they might be a little bit overinflated here. 18 points is a lot in the SEC matchup. So I'm hoping Auburn's run game can get established. And if it can, this bet should cover. And if it can't, then I know the result already.
Yeah, so that's plus 18 or plus 18.5, depending on where you shop. We're both on that. And then I'm also taking the over 55.5. So
I think Sam Pittman may he needs to cover the spread for Arkansas. I don't think he's sitting in great standing right now with the boosters. And that game last week against BYU was very bad. Very, very bad for the head coach and the Arkansas program. So they need to cover. We'll see if they do it. LSU looks great. They looked great last week. I don't know who else was on that with me, but I was so wrong about this.
Yeah.
That was wrong. Very wrong.
Yep. I was on BYU too, though, so it kind of evens out.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, you and I have way too many picks this week. This is ridiculous. Stanford plus 12.5 at Arizona coming into Stanford. Matt, tell us why you hate it.
I kind of hate this pick. Stanford's shown signs of life of offense. Their defense has not been good. This is just a play of fading Delora. He is going to do something that's going to be amazing, and he's going to do something that's going to be hilarious. So I do think Arizona will win. This is not going to be an easy one. This is going to be one that you hold on to your butt and see what happens. I don't know if you have better, but I feel like it's a play you should make.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you, and yeah, there's just too many points. 12.5 too many points.
Did you guys know Stanford just lost to Sacramento State?
They did. I did.
Did you know Arizona just beat UTEP 31-10?
Arizona
what
can't score.
What would happen if UTEP played Sacramento State?
Ooh.
I think UTEP would win by a lot.
Yeah. No one would watch. That's what.
Yeah, but Stanford just lost to Sacramento State.
Yeah, but that's exactly how you get value, bud. You find a team that just had a really bad loss, and the number gets inflated, and then you bet on them.
Or that's also how you lose money. You find a team that's fucking terrible.
Sometimes.
And you follow them the next week when they're playing a team that's way better than them.
Well, that's the key, right? To figure out, was it a fluke and they had a bad game and they're going to bounce back? Or
Stanford this year is bad.
Oh, no. Stanford's bad. Don't get it twisted. But Arizona, I'm rooting for Arizona to throw like 11 picks and 8 touchdowns somehow.
I don't know. Arizona's one loss this year so far was that Mississippi State game that they were close the whole time. Like, I don't know if Arizona sucks as much as we think they suck.
They are better. Delora has been making less.
Or as we thought they would suck at the beginning of the year, I guess is a better way to say it.
Yeah, that's a better way to say it.
It's kind of high variance, but Danny, you have no idea how happy it makes me to hear you say that Stanford sucks. Do you guys remember I spent all last season trying to convince Danny that Stanford sucks because they were good?
Kept losing money on them.
Yeah,
all year. I don't know why I kept going down that hole.
But now is the time to bet on them. You got off the train too early. All right.
I don't know if that's right, but I just felt right. Let's do it.
All right, continuing my train of just reckless spending here and just throwing darts at the board to try and make something hit. Southern Miss is playing Arkansas State. I'm taking Arkansas State plus 6.5. And then Sam Houston State is playing Houston. Sam Houston State is getting 13. I'm taking all of those, and I'm going over 38.
Randy, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So in the spreadsheets, you have a set value number that you know means we should make this pick. But when the spreadsheet hands out 37 picks, are you like, all right, we're making 37 picks? Or are you like, we should adjust this value number so that there's only 20 picks this week?
Oh, the spreadsheet gave out like 90 picks this week.
Yeah, so Andy whittled it down to 41.
I did.
I know, I was counting. 41 plays.
I did. I cut a whole bunch. There's a bunch on the floor.
He said, I'm winning 10 bets this week no matter what.
That's exactly right. Exactly. I showed value on Charlotte. I showed value on all these games that we're skipping here. All right.
I love betting against Florida. Can I have that Charlotte pick?
Absolutely.
No, I'm not going to.
Charlotte's real bad. They're like bottom 5 in both offense and defensive efficiency.
They're terrible.
I literally thought about taking Charlotte because it's a bad spot for Florida, right? Coming off an emotional win, and I was like, oh right, it's Charlotte.
Yeah. If it was anybody else.
For anyone who didn't remember at home, we did a bad team draft, and Al took his pick of Charlotte first. That's how bad Charlotte is. Really. Instead of taking someone from a conference, he used a wild card. That's how bad Charlotte.
Did anybody remember who I took first?
I
Colorado.
Hey, you got plenty of time, buddy. You got plenty of time.
They haven't had a conference win yet, right?
Not
Yeah. I'm still 0-0
Yeah.
with Colorado. That's gonna go well for me.
Well, this is the big test, right? They're playing Oregon, so we'll see.
You'll get your first loss.
Yeah.
Guess that's good.
All right. Next,
Maybe.
7 p.m. App State heading out west to Wyoming. I'm taking the over 44. That's just not enough points. And then Chris, I think you have a play on this as well.
Yeah, I think that this is a great matchup in both the teams, like performance-wise and what they do to other teams when they play like big teams in their like respected areas. Like Wyoming's caused some upsets. App State certainly has. But I'm taking App State plus 2.5.
So I'm gonna follow Andy on this over. I didn't know it was so
Love
low because I
I
didn't
love the
actually
over.
check all the lines. App State has been really good on offense this year and really trash on defense this year, and they tend to dictate their games even when they come in, especially when they come in and play like a really bad team like Wyoming. So
It does get windy out west.
Does get windy.
That's
App State has
Wyoming's whole
proven that they
deal.
can run the ball when they need to.
I don't think
That's
we're allowed
actually-
to see.
That's actually how they beat Michigan a bunch of years ago.
Andy,
I'm not going to use that as why they're going to win this game because that was 15 years ago. But
I do think the over is the play. I love it. The Wyoming's quarterback was out last week. They can be good with him. They are very bad without him. He is back this week. So I do think there will be points scored. But it does get windy in Wyoming, for sure.
But even without him, like they're scoring 20 plus points a game or 25 plus points a game and giving up like 27 points a game. App State scoring 40 points a game. So like, yeah, this over of 44 just seems so low. It just doesn't make any sense unless like it's all based on weather and thinking that Wyoming's just gonna like sit on the ball.
They may, but
like how long can they do that?
60 minutes. Yeah. All right. Next pick is Nevada going into Texas State. Nevada hung with Kansas on Saturday, and Kansas is better than Texas State. So you're giving me 18.5 points with Nevada. I'm taking it all day. And then under 61.5. That is way too many points for these two teams.
Sure. Got nothing.
We'll keep it moving then. This actually could be a really good game. 7:30 p.m. Texas at Baylor. We got a fight here. Danny, go ahead and tell us why it's not going to be good, and then Al and I will tell you why you're wrong.
It's pretty simple. Texas is good, and Baylor isn't. I don't know what you guys all see in Baylor here. Like Texas has been crushing it, and Baylor hasn't. Like, you guys got more analysis than that? Like,
well, apparently Baylor on the other side, right?
Baylor not so good. Texas good.
Yeah, I think my big thing is the fact that 1, it's in Baylor. 2, it's a rivalry. 3, I'm not expecting Baylor to win this game or anything, but I do think they'll keep it close. They played Utah at home and kept it close. So I think they're capable of keeping this within 2 touchdowns. That gives us a couple points to spare.
Yeah, same. I mean, you're not wrong, Danny, when you say that Texas is better than Baylor. Like, I think everybody here agrees with that, right? You're not going to get argument from anybody, but 15 points better, not every Saturday, and hopefully not this one. Danny, you've got to pick in the next one. Oh, sorry, Matt, did you have thoughts on that one?
No, Texas looked like dog shit last game against the score doesn't indicate how close the game was. So I do think you may get a feistier Texas. A Texas that may have been looking at, I forgot who they played. Wyoming? They played Wyoming. And it was close.
That sounds right.
But it was like on the Longhorn station or whatever. It's like the gas station one, like the Pac-12's on here.
It was. They beat Wyoming by 3 touchdowns. 31.
But going into the fourth quarter, it was like a 3-point game, or like a 7-point game, and they pulled away. I don't know. I got nothing on this.
All right. The next pick is Danny's, and we seem to have lost Danny, at least for the moment. He is taking the under 44 in Akron, Indiana. Those just sound like two teams that are not going to score a lot of points.
Sure
Anybody?
doesn't. It sounds low. I mean, that score sounds too high.
It
So,
does.
I mean, sure.
Yeah, same. If Danny comes back, he can elaborate. But I'll rattle off a few more real quick. Memphis at Missouri. I'm taking Memphis +7. And then this one I hate as well. Please don't follow me on this one. Minnesota at Northwestern. I'm taking Northwestern +12. I'm just fading Minnesota, and I've bet on Northwestern a couple of times this year and gotten burned. So it's probably the wrong side, but Memphis +7 and Northwestern +12.
The Memphis pick is interesting. Memphis has been playing okay, and you're coming off of like overwhelming. Missouri looked good. That Luther Burden kid is good. That receiver, running back, whatever they have, that dude's legitimately good. I'll be curious to see how this goes. I wonder, you think this is an overvalued spot for Missouri?
Yeah, kind of. I have this closer to like 2 points. So I mean, I still think they're the better team and they're at home, but you give me a full touchdown, I'll ride with it.
Sure.
All right. Next, we got a couple picks from Al. Al, why don't you take us to the next two? Mississippi State, South Carolina first.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Mississippi State is just really bad. South Carolina, while they haven't really gotten their offense to click as well as they'd like to, they've got obviously a capable quarterback in Spencer Rattler. Their defense has played pretty well. And Mississippi State, again, is just super not good. And Columbia is a tough place to play. So I'm going to go ahead and lay 6 with South Carolina. Getting them at home by less than a touchdown feels like an easy play. Along with that, I'm also taking 3.5 from Notre Dame at home against Ohio State. Ohio State is not they ain't it this year. They haven't figured it out yet. I really think Notre Dame's defense is better than Ohio State's. I think Notre Dame's offense is better than Ohio State's. And they're a dog, and they're at home. This is like I feel like I'm a Wile E. Coyote walking into a trap here that I set for myself. Like, it seems like too good to be true. So I'm hammering this.
I was shocked Ohio State was a 3.5 point favorite. I haven't bet it yet, and I'm thinking about it because all the charts I use say that the line is right. So I don't know what to do with it. Notre Dame has been awesome. Incredibly good on defense. I read something about Sam Hartman. Estime, their running back, has been awesome. He's been tremendous for them. So their offense is crazy potent. It will be fun. Styles make fights battle between, I can't believe I'm saying this, Notre Dame's offense and Ohio State's defense. Those are really good sides. And watching them fight, my thought would be that Harrison and Ibuki are really, really good, and they're being undervalued in this. I think you're on the right side here, Al.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the argument against Notre Dame is maybe they haven't been tested enough. But the same thing applies to Ohio State.
They've been kicking the shit out. They're covering spreads every week, except for last week, Central Michigan, baby, but that was way too many points. They've been really, really dominant. I think that's the right side if I had to play one. Sorry, did I cut anyone off?
No,
you're good. But Sonny, you're on this too, right?
Yeah. For everything these guys just said, Notre Dame, 3.5. Which, I mean, I'm not excited to bet either of these schools ever. I typically don't watch their football games. So, but like I said, my brother went to Wake, so I am like a Sam Hartman fan. And I just think that Notre Dame's been playing really well. So.
Nice.
There's no way. Go ahead. Sorry. I was just going to say, there's no way Sam Hartman doesn't get taken to the Heisman candidacy because he's the quarterback at Notre Dame, right? He has to. He's going to be a candidate for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, barring something crazy.
Yeah. Sorry.
I like this. That's the side I would be on if I was playing it.
Yeah, it'll be a good one to watch, I think.
Yeah, that'll be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's a 7:30 game. I was a little pissed that FSU was the noon game, but I was like, all right, I get it. The rest of the country would rather watch this.
It's a really
Also,
good.
you'd like to watch it too, and if they're on at the same time, you wouldn't be able to, right? So
Unless I had that quad screen.
True. Oh,
Hey, sponsors, give us a call.
Andy, you and I like the same side on the next one here too. Another good 7:30 p.m. nighttime matchup. Iowa at Penn State.
Yeah,
we're
go
both
for it.
on Iowa plus 14.5. Iowa's offense to date is keeping pace. I think they're probably going to fall off the pace a little bit in this one. But their defense is good. And Penn State is a tough team, but I expect this to be a good matchup, a close game. And 14.5 is outrageous. I feel like it should be easy to cover.
Yeah, 100% agree with everything you said. I also watched Penn State last week because they played Illinois. And Illinois was a failed 2-point conversion away from covering with 5 turnovers and just a terrible, terrible offensive performance. Iowa's better than Illinois. So absolutely, they cover this number all day. That's way, way too many points. Penn State may not even score 15. Like, Iowa might not have to score to cover this number.
Yeah, like that's what I was going to say. It's like you want to play a little like last week's opponent math, right? So Penn State put up 30 on Illinois. Say, even if you think Iowa and Illinois have equal defenses, which is probably saying a lot, that means 2 touchdowns, basically 2 touchdowns from Iowa is all you need to cover this number, pretty much. So yeah, it feels like the smart play.
100%. This is not going to be my chuggy bet this week, but it was up there. It was in like top 3 consideration. I really like this one.
I like your side as well. I get scared of Penn State tonight. I do want to. Sorry, Sunshine, but you finish your point, and then I want to make sure we keep up to date with Brian Ferentz's.
No, I think you go ahead.
That takes precedence.
Yeah.
So to this point, we are 3 games in the season. Brian Ferentz has 85 points. So we subtract that from 300. We have 215. He's been averaging 28.3 points per game. Pretty good, Brian, above pace. Oh, no, you got a lot of tough competition. You're going to need to average 23.9 points on the way out. Do you think he hits it or his contract is terminated? I think he's going to get his ass terminated, according to those numbers, but I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, they ran up the score last week, which is like not very Iowa. Not that Iowa, hasn't tried to run up the score in the past. They just weren't physically capable of it. This is the first time they've actually been capable of it, but putting up I think it was 41 on Western Michigan.
Yeah, they were like going no huddle to get a touchdown in before the time expired. It was crazy.
Yeah, you needed to put up like 50 or 60 there because there's definitely gonna be a step up in competition when you go to the Big Ten schedule. That said, the Big Ten defenses that they're facing, a lot of them are down this year a little bit. Michigan State, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Northwestern, right? Like, who in there like really scares you?
But yeah. I think also another thing to consider is the fact that Brian Ferentz is chasing this number. So in this matchup, Iowa's not going to be content to just sit here and not cover the spread if they have the ball and they have a chance to cut that lead and add some points to their season-long total. So that's something to keep an eye on. I don't know if spreads are being adjusted to account for that at all. I doubt it. But it definitely hurts or helps when trying to cover a big spread like that.
If Iowa throws the ball a lot, they're going to be in trouble. It's not what you want. They need to figure out another way to score points. They need to take the ball away. Penn State's defense will take the ball away. Like, that's not the game you want to play. Altmaier had a rough day at the office last week.
It was the fucking worst.
On the topic of Iowa, while we're still on it, I just want to give a shout out to Cade McNamara. That little soundbite of him at his post game presser last week when they asked him about the defense, and he was like, "Yeah, these guys, they come and they come a lot." And then he started laughing. Oh God, I laughed really hard watching that.
Yeah.
That was funny. Sonny, did you have a thought you wanted to share on that one?
No, I was going to ask for the update.
Got it. All right, moving into the 8 o'clock window. This is another one that I hate. I don't know why I played this one. I wish I could take it back.
Thank you.
I already bet it for myself, but you know what? I will take it off the spreadsheet. All right.
All right, let's
Matt,
go to James Madison, Utah State. What do you guys say? I've been doing this new thing, very similar to Virginia, where I'm just fading Utah State. Worked great last week. Let's do it again. James Madison. It is with making this like more, but James better. Problem to attempt favorite in this game. So
all right, looks like we might have lost Matt there. He likes James Madison minus 5.5. Sounds like a principal play. He's just fading Utah State. So I have no other thoughts on that game. Anybody else?
No, it feels ballsy to me. Like I feel like I get the play, but it's also James Madison, so I'm like, I don't think I would do it, but I have confidence that Matt knows what he's talking about.
Yeah,
I mean that just goes to prove Matt's point. They're undervalued.
Yeah,
and he's back.
My internet's tough today, boys. Sorry about that.
You're doing great.
My dial-up really is struggling. Take James Madison. Just lay the points. I gave a lot of reasons.
We heard most of them, I think.
Yeah.
All right. We're getting close to wrapping this thing up. I'll go through another couple of mine real quick. USC going to Arizona State. I'm taking Arizona State plus 34.5. USC is way, 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 way better, but they're not going to cover 34. And then Cal going to Washington. I don't know why I keep doing it. I don't know why I keep taking points against Washington, but I'm doing it again. Cal plus 21. I'm also taking the under here. I don't think Cal's going to score a ton, which probably makes it silly that I'm taking them plus the 21. But I don't think Washington gets to this number by themselves. It's a
good hedge, and they also your two bets work in cahoots. So
right.
You've got
the
a
dog
very
in the
small
under.
window where you're not going to hit both of those. But I was almost courageous enough to tack on Cal plus 21 here too, but then I was like, I got burned by Washington. I think already twice this year, so I'm just gonna.
I think I have too. Yeah.
But Cal's defense is promising.
All right, and then 10:30, another 10:30 game. Kent State, Fresno State. I'm taking Kent plus 28. Just too many points. Kent State's not good, but 28 points is too many. And Matt is on the under in that game, under 50.5. That's a lot of points for a bad Kent State team. So
yeah,
I don't hate that at all. Anybody else have thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would bet on Kent State, but I do think that Fresno State's not good enough to score 50 on their own. So, yeah.
Yep. All right, and then last play of the day at midnight, New Mexico State out on the island. New Mexico State, Danny's taking them plus 3. When he dropped, he texted us and he said New Mexico State because Hawaii is disappointing. There you go. New Mexico State plus 3 because Hawaii is disappointing. All right. Everybody have their ChuggieBets picked out? You guys know what you're taking?
Yeah. I'm gonna do Notre Dame plus 3.5. That's my ChuggieBet. I think so. It's either that or South Carolina. I think I'm going to say Notre Dame.
All right, Sunshine. Do you know what yours is going to be?
Florida State over.
All right. I think that's the third week in a row that's been your Chuggy bet, and they keep hitting. So why not? All right. I am taking Nevada plus 18.5 as my Chuggy bet. And Matt texted he is not going to be able to rejoin either, but his Chuggy is Louisiana minus 10.
And
So
Danny already said his earlier.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Do you remember which one it was?
Yeah, I'm going up to look through it, but he was like, "That's my Chuggy bet for this week." And now I wish I had paid more attention to him. Were we talking about Air Force?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Air Force minus 3.5 on Friday night.
Yeah. Tell you what, make it that one, and if it's wrong, Matt will chug for him.
Perfect.
Love it.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for hanging out with us. Sorry,
one last thing. So we were talking off air about if you were to parlay all of our Chuggy bets together each week, whether you'd come out ahead or behind. And I think we did some rough chicken scratch math and determined that you would have come out about 6 units up on NFL and about the same in college. So you'd be up about 12 units if you parlayed all of our Chuggy bets every week.
Last year,
yeah. So far this year, I think it hasn't hit yet, right?
This week was the best we've done. We were 4 out of 5, so we were close.
So we're due. So
exactly.
if you're looking to put a buck here on a 5-leg parlay, it would be what do we got? Air Force, FSU over, Notre Dame, Louisiana, and Nevada.
Yep.
All spread plays there. Except for
Love
total.
it. All right, and Al's going to make a TikTok too and put that on a TikTok. So if you're not following us on TikTok, go do that. Just search Chuggy Bets. We each have one, but they'll all come up if you search Chuggy Bets. So
yeah, good job.
Appreciate that. All right, thank you for sticking with us. Like, follow, subscribe, tell a friend, and good night, Kent. Good night, Steven.
Good night, Matt.
Good night, Joey.
Good night, Joey.